My name is Tabitha Ramos, and I am here with Amy Sneed, who is a social worker at an apartment property in the Russell neighborhood of West Louisville, Kentucky. And she's going to speak to us today about her work and some of the things that she has come to realize about the Russell neighborhood, what their issues are, and what their resources are. Amy, could you describe for us the type of work that you do and how long you've worked in the Russell neighborhood?
Okay. I worked in the Russell neighborhood at least 9 to 10 years. This position, 1.5 years, almost 2. What I do is assess, refer, and make sure services are utilized and so forth. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Could you talk to us a little bit about the population in the Russell neighborhood? Do you have age, disabled? Can you talk to us about the diversity and the races?
Predominantly African American. Predominantly, our building is all 60 and up. Very few are late 50s, but the majority is 60 and up. African American is the predominant race. The whole neighborhood is predominantly African American and predominantly low income.
Yeah. Okay. Can you talk to us about what resources are currently available in the Russell neighborhood that you're aware of?
Well, for seniors, we have KIPTA, we have ElderServe, we have several home healths that are willing to help me with programs, and universities that have a nursing department, for example, U of L. For families, there are learning centers strategically placed. That is one thing I used to be in charge of, is learning centers at a former job, a former agency I was at. So there are some learning centers in the area that are very inexpensive. So there can be for children. For single parents or families, we have the NIA Center. That's always helpful.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you see as the needs in the neighborhood? What kinds of issues and problems do you see that they face?
Well, I think the whole neighborhood whole is food desert, is good homegrown healthy food, natural food.
Okay. So that's something that they don't have access to here.
There are various gardens, community gardens, but not everybody can get to them.
Okay. So there's a problem with the transportation, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Transportation is usually free to doctor's appointments if you have Medicaid. But in my senior's case, they can't just simply jump on a bus or pay TARC 3 or a taxi, because they have to put their money lots of times for medicine and other things, so they just don't have the freedom to plunk down money to go somewhere.
Okay, so lack of access to fresh and healthy food, and are there other issues facing
crime?
Okay.
We have crime. We've had several residents here who have actually lost family members due to shootings.
Oh dear.
In this neighborhood. So crime, violence, and they themselves are in some cases scared to leave because of being attacked. And we have had residents assaulted.
Oh dear.
In the neighborhood.
Okay. And
a lot of drug activity occurs up and down the street we sit on.
Okay. Where do you feel like there are gaps in services to address the issues that you mentioned?
I think the gaps would be really, if you're going on for the building itself, would be just block watches. Some places have them, but they're hard to start because people are scared of retaliation if they report crime. So that's a real challenge. And getting people to be willing to report that. Gaps, well, just access is a huge gap.
Yeah. So you mentioned that people have a hard time getting transportation to the community garden.
Yeah, that's a big one, because a lot of our residents here at least struggle with walking long distances, and the sidewalks are non-existent to even get to that church that I was working with. So we just couldn't get people there. And, I've had to rely on the good graces of, volunteers to provide transportation, but that's not always consistent,
Okay.
no.
Okay, well, is there anything else you would like to share with us, your insight into the Russell neighborhood and?
I think the Russell neighborhood is a great place, and I have met so many people in the neighborhood. But again, I think we have been forgotten on resources.
Okay. Okay, well, we appreciate you taking
Sure.
the time to speak with us, and thank you, and we will, be looking into some potential advocacy plans
Okay.
to help the
All right.
neighborhood. Thank you.
Sure.